Hey guys, what's up? Welcome onto the shop today. We have a push mower in the shop today that I got from somebody, and apparently the carburetor keeps flooding, and so we need to try to diagnose why the carb keeps on flooding, see if we can fix it and get it back into operation. So here it is. Here is the mower. Is obviously MTD. It says Boland's on there. Pretty much your basic push mower. There's absolutely nothing fancy about it. It doesn't even have the spot to raise and lower the wheels by themselves. You have to put them into the different holes before you start mowing. So like I said, this is a very basic mower. And behind here is where the carburetor is. So the first thing that we got to do is hook up the fuel line real quick. Pour some fuel in and actually see what is going on. There's no fuel in there right now, so we're gonna put some fuel in there, see where it's leaking out of, and then probably take it all apart, see what the carburetor is doing, and then put it back together and hopefully it'll run. Alright, so the hose has just been disconnected, I think just to drain out whatever fuel is in there, and we gotta pop that back on there. And just like that, super easy. And then we'll move the clamp up here. So we gotta get some fuel put in there now and see where it's leaking out of. So I got the clamp on here right now just because I don't want it to, if it does leak, I don't want it just to keep on running out. So what I'll do is remove the clamp and we'll see if it just starts spewing out somewhere. Don't see anything yet, but I've also got it tilted slightly on its side. Now I see a leak right now, but I'm not sure where it's coming out of. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's just running right out of there. You guys see that? So we need to get this clamp back on here. Pinch that off. Alright, so we got that clamp down now. And let's see if this thing will, woo! Let's see if it'll even run. See if it's got spark real quick before we go much further. Alright, so I just went back and watched the video because I couldn't really see what was going on with this. We definitely have spark, so that I bet more than likely our main thing that we're going to have to deal with is the fuel issue. And these carburetors are fairly simple to work on. You just got to take off a few bolts and then this whole entire thing pops off. Alright guys, so here we got the carburetor. It's completely taken apart. The gas line came in here, throttle hooked into here, and the gas was shooting out of this white port right here, which is all intertwined inside the carburetor. So what we are going to do now is go ahead and take everything apart, just make sure it's all nice and clean. Probably put in the ultrasonic cleaner real quick, just for a good measure, and then reinstall it, make sure nothing's missing, and make sure to always drain out your fuel. Alright, so we got the carburetor apart, and no need to put it in the parts cleaner because it's pretty clean already. I don't see any real dirt or debris. Even looking in the fuel bowl, I don't see anything. What I do see is there's an issue right here. Hey, what the heck, guys? What are we missing? Come on, think about it. yeah, there's no needle. So, the heck, where'd that go? As soon as I took it off and I started draining it, it was completely just free flowing out of the inlet valve for the fuel. And if memory serves me right, that shouldn't happen, because once you turn it upside down, the float would go to the very top of your carburetor, and it would act like it was full of fuel, which means that would shut off the needle, and then you would have very, very slow drip or something out of the float bowl or out of the carburetor. When I tilted this on its side, stuff was just pouring out, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, I bet you either the needle has fallen down or it's completely missing. And I was right. The needle is completely missing out of this, which means there's absolutely no stop of the fuel system, and that's why it just keeps on filling up and starts flowing out of that little white part. So this is what it should look like when you hang it down. It should stay somewhat like that. When you flip it up, it should be even or a little bit towards the top of the carburetor to close it off. So yeah, now that we got that needle in there, we should be able to put it together and it should be just fine. Alright, so I got everything hooked back up and I have absolutely no fuel leaking out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a few primer bumps with that bulb, and then try to see if we can get it firing over. Let me go ahead and check that spark plug and see if everything looks okay with it. Alright, so pulling the spark plug out, it's not even wet at all. So it means that we aren't getting any fuel still up to the plug. So I'm going to put some fuel in there real quick and see if it'll at least fire over, just to make sure this thing will run before we go in depth too far. Alright, so this is going to be getting it started with fuel in the plug hole. Alright, so we are good. It's going to run. We just need to get fuel into it. So experienced me should have known, instead of just trying to skip over steps and say, hey, it's probably just this, let's go ahead and just do that. Well, I had this all apart. I should have put it in the parts cleaner. So now we're going to wiggle this part out. You can see there's some yellowness up on the top, so it's probably got a little bit of a clog somewhere. So we're going to drop this whole thing in the parts cleaner, let it run for about 8 minutes or so, and then try to reinstall it all again one more time, and then it should run. We still had a really bad start. Every time I would prime it, it would only run for a second, and then it would just shut completely off. So I started looking through. I already ran wire through all these. This one I can't get a wire in just because it's so small. But it looked a little bit darker in color right here on the inside. And so I took my air compressor and turned it up to about 100 psi, put it right on there, hit the trigger, and it blew that brass piece out. And it took me a while to find it. It hit me in the chest and then bounced off. But I found it. Now looking in through the top, I can clearly see the white inside there. So I think there must have been some debris that was in there. And also when I put some air on there, I can feel it coming out as well. So before I couldn't. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall this again and see if it'll stay running this time. Alright guys, so this is like attempt 429. So we're going to see what's going to happen now. I made sure everything was clean, everything was put back exactly how it was supposed to be. So let's go ahead and see if it'll run. There you guys go. It was a dirty main jet. That's all it was. There was a little piece of debris in there. Now, me getting it, the main issue was the carburetor overflowing, and that ended up being a needle. That was like a 2-minute fix. But then it took a little bit of diagnosing to figure out that there was like I guess it was like a really hard piece of debris, because I stuck the smallest wire I had through that jet and it wouldn't budge one bit. So eventually took the air nozzle, blasted it, blew the thing apart, had to find all the different pieces that I lost, got it put back together, and you guys see, it's running now. So that's a really good outcome for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, smash that thumbs up button, and as always, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys on the next video.